Yo, what's up? Thank you all for tuning in wherever and whenever you were watching this. Today, we're just going to go over a little bit current market analysis. We're going to mark up some charts, see what's going on. We got a little bit of bullish momentum going on inside the crypto space. So, hopefully, let me make sure I'm sharing my screen. Right one. Sick. All right. We're going to open up Decrypt. Make sure I get it up. And we'll go through that here in a minute, but I'm going to do a little bit of technical analysis. First, we're going to start with the total market cap, the usual, so we can kind of, create that story, what's going on here in the market. One of my buddies earlier this morning messaged me. He's like, bro, what do you think's going to happen? You still think it's going to drop, right? I'm like, yeah, definitely it's going to drop, bro. But I think for now, we're probably going to see some momentum up. I think, and it's weird because, according to TradingView, depending on, what chart you have, and that's why I mostly have two for each of these. A lot of the pairs I trade, you can see the one's for Binance and one's for Coinbase, but the prices are slightly different. So this one's 80 cents. This is, 80.15, and that's 80.17. So they're slightly off, but same with the total market cap. You can see the total market cap. Let me check that. Here it says we're at 1 trillion, almost even. And then according to CoinGecko, we're pretty close to 1.1. So the same level I have marked up here, this 1.1, is really what I'm looking for some selling pressure. And this last level of support from the fib zone, the 78.6 and the 88.6. This pretty much box the zone right here. I think we're going to see some resistance here and then some probably push down. So, we had a decent little rally up, but I don't think it's going to stay for long. Let's put that red. So we got some selling pressure there, but yeah, honestly, I really don't think we're gonna break above this, and I'm not really looking for any bullish momentum until we break above here, like the 1 point, this last level about like the 1.18 trillion for the market cap. But if we break it down, we take Bitcoin and Ethereum out of the picture, which is mostly alts. You can see right now we're kind of sitting at a ceiling, right here. So we stopped there. Why do we stop there? Don't know, don't care. We just did. And really that's what we're here to do, is identify the pattern of, why do we stop there? Well, I don't really care why, we just did, and we're going to mark it up. And it's most likely going to be pretty much happening the whole time. And look, 38.2, stop there, almost the same exact zone. And I'm sure if we go on a higher time frame and mark up some more levels, we can start to tell a story with it. So let's see. We'll put a weekly level there, or daily, my bad. And we can even do one. Maybe a couple more actually. And even this. So somebody's probably gonna ask me, why did you choose those zones or those levels? And really, I'm just basing it off these bottoms of the candle. So you can see it came down, stopped here, and that tells me there's some type of floor there, right? So it came up, had some resistance, and then what happened? More resistance, and then boom, broke through. And then same thing with these right here. So came through, broke through, came up, resistance, resistance, broke through, some resistance, broke through, came to this level here, which is also where we stopped there. But if we throw some fibs on this, I'm sure we could be a little bit more clear on it. And of course, big surprise, not really. 70.6 level on a daily. And then we'll break it down a little farther. So, you can kind of see where we're at here. So the market came up here. So we're measuring pretty much 100% of this move from here to, where did we get that? Sure, I'm marking the right thing. It's not really showing me what I want to see, but I'm actually gonna move this down. Because normally when and I'll show you guys really quick, because normally when it wicks up here, you can see where the market was playing on a smaller time frame. When I go like this, you don't actually see the market come up there anywhere. So I'm actually gonna move that down this way. See what happens there. For the 4 hour. There we go. So now you can see we're actually at more of a top here, but let me make sure we're touching it. There we go. So now we have some fibs on it, and honestly, I mean, we're measuring from here to here, right? So from this bottom to this high, and normally what happens is we come back to this 50% 618 zone, and then it normally goes up. That's what normally happens. When you hear the word normal, you hear something that what I think of is I think of something that usually happens, something that happens most of the time. Like that's normal. When you go to the you know the grocery store to get groceries and you're picking out hot sauce, it usually says like hot, mild. You never really see like a normal hot, not normal salsa. There's mild, hot, super hot, burn your mouth, all sorts of stuff like that. But for when these fibs, the normal zone is this 50% 618. Anything outside of there is mild, hot, spicy, things like that. So when we get a retracement down to this, what's up, Kyle? I'll break this down a little bit so you know what we're talking about. But we're measuring from this move with the fib tool. We're measuring from this bottom to this high. So that's 100% of the move you can see over here on the left-hand side. And we're retracing. So normally it retraces around to this level. And I'm actually looking at the total market cap, excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum. So this is mostly just altcoins. So we're at the 50% 50% 618 zone is where it normally retraces. Now, if it were to come down, respect off of here, that's usually a strong trend up. If it comes down at 38.2, it's like a mild trend up. And this is the normal, retracement go up. And a lot of the time, this last level of support is what I call it. It's really where a lot of the liquidity sits. And we're actually that is the 78.6 and the 88.6 level. So on these levels, this is where most of the buying pressure sits over here, right? We're measuring from over here. Most of the buying pressure is sitting in the zone. So what happens is in order to break below here, we need to capture liquidity, right? So we need to break below the zone or break into the zone. So what will normally happen is, so now we're coming down here and we might see some buying pressure here, right? So it came down, we came pretty close. We didn't actually fully hit it. But we did break through the 50% 618. From here's the 618, it's the 50% level. But we usually call it just as a zone. So usually if I mark it up, it's like this zone right here. But it broke through right here. And then we almost had to come down here and touch that last level of support. I personally think we're going to see, and on that smaller time frame, we could kind of see it. We're getting some resistance here from this little ceiling. And I think we're going to probably see another move down, maybe even back down to here. But that's, that's my opinion. I mean, the market could really do whatever it wants. But I think we're going to see some resistance here, come back through here and probably retest this. And actually, I would really like it to come down and touch this last level of support one last time so we can get some fire entries on pretty much every coin possible. But, you can't always get what you wish for. So we're going to just read and react instead of gamble and guess. But this is the total market cap, including all coins. So really what I'm thinking, if we're measuring this going down, right, we're measuring this move from this high to this bottom. What normally happens is it retraces to this level. And then here in this last level of support, we have that pretty much that major selling pressure. So if it comes up there, we're gonna have major selling pressure because that's where most of the sells are, right? So we have selling pressure there. But honestly, I mean, we break it down on a smaller time frame. I mean, I personally think we're probably going to see it retrace down still. But because again, CoinGecko is showing us we're at almost 1.1. What I'm thinking we're going to see on this chart is, it's going to reflect really what CoinGecko is showing. This 1.1. Oh guys, come on, back it up, bro. I think we're gonna get a push up here and go ahead. Go. Back up to this 1.1, and really again, I mean, CoinGecko is showing it, but this chart here is not. So I don't know. I'm thinking we might come up here. CoinGecko is literally showing us right here already. So to me, I'm thinking we're going to see some selling pressure, and I think it's potentially going to come down to the zone, which we have marked up on like a higher time frame, which would probably be like right around here. Now, I don't personally think we're going to come down that far. We could, but I'm thinking maybe even the 815 billion market cap, just to touch it one more time. But we'll see. We'll see what happens with that, and then from there, we want to break down Bitcoin and Ethereum because they're most of the market cap, right? I like to break these down and use these to kind of tell a story. So we have the total market cap without Bitcoin and Ethereum, which puts us at about 390 billion. And then with it, we're at literally a trillion. So majority of all the crypto liquidity is sitting in Bitcoin and Ethereum. So everything else tends to follow that. So we can kind of see we had a little bullish push up here on Bitcoin. I don't know. I mean, I think I'm thinking we might come down into here again. You can see this last level support got touched one time on that week. I think it's a weekly time frame. We're using that same concept with the fibs, right? We have the last level support. Imagine that came down perfectly, touched it where we have all that buying pressure, right? Because most of the buys are sitting here, and that's where most of the liquidity sits. But I personally think, I mean, you could see we might play in the zone and you might see that bounce up here, but I don't know. I mean, I'm having a hard time believing that we're still gonna just only go up from here. I think, we could potentially come up here, hit maybe 24K and bounce back down, or maybe we even, see some type of retest. And if we break it down on a smaller time frame, you might even be able to see it on the fib zones. So break this. So we're going to measure from this bottom, make sure it's the bottom of the candle, right? Okay, there it is, to the highest high candle. There it is, and here we are. So last level support again. I mean, stuff happens all the time. It's pretty much repetitive. It's like riding a bike. You get on and you pedal it. You're not surprised that you move forward. Same thing happens here. Use the fibs, and it comes down and hits your level. You're not really surprised it exactly hit that. But you can see it even had some resistance here, which was also a weekly level and a smaller time frame, 78.6 last level support level. So you can see we came down, resistance, broke through, hit the actual last level, the 88.6, and then boom, took off. And to me, that's not too crazy because we had all this upward momentum. Normally you break through a zone, right, and you retest, and then you go. Here we kind of broke through, and we never really retested anything. So you can kind of see us coming back down, right? Boom, boom, and we're getting that little hit right here. So I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say, especially when the market does what it wants to. But I personally think if we're coming up here, we're probably going to see, and again, if we market in the down direction, we're going to see the same thing. But so the 50% 618 zone, that's our normal level where we normally come into, retest, and continue down, right? If we were looking for a downtrend, we would normally come up here, retest, boom, come down. But I don't know. That could happen, or I'm thinking this. But again, it's always read and react. We can't if we guess, we're gambling. And that's where you separate from trading and guessing and gambling. So same thing with Ethereum. I mean, I personally think Ethereum is going to come back down, and there's actually something on DeFi Llama. I'm not sure if you guys use this, but DeFi Llama is pretty dope too because it'll actually show if you come over here, hit the liquidations. So I don't know if you guys margin trade or leverage trade, whatever you guys call it. Everybody calls it something different. Every time I say leverage, somebody's like, "What are you talking about?" Every time I say margin, they're like, "What are you talking about, bro?" So I just refer to it as both. So when you're margin trading, say you have a $100 account, right? And you're over leveraging, which most people do. You shouldn't do that. Only risk 3%. Not a financial advisor, so take that with a grain of salt. But I only risk 3% for every trade. So when I first started trading, I over leveraged a lot. If I had $100, I'm like risking the whole bag to win, like 30, 40 bucks. But normally what happens is a lot of people over leverage. So see you have $100, you're down $90, you'll start getting margin called. And what that means is they're like, hey, you either need to add more money to this because you don't have enough money to cover the losses. Now, same thing is happening with these. Now, you could see their liquidation price, 741. Normally, you can't see these. Like, and normally only a broker gets to see these, right? A broker would see everybody's entry. Not everybody gets to see this, but because it's the blockchain and, because it's crypto, you can't see that. Everything's transparent. So you can see 741 is their liquidation price for Ethereum. Guys, we're sitting at like what's that, 17, 18? And we came down to almost 900, I would say. Yeah, eight. This chart showing exactly it wicked down to 885. His liquidation price is 741. Now he can add more money into it to lower that price. Maybe he wants to make it closer to 500, but he has to add more money to that. He already has 85 million into there. It's 115,318 ETH. You can see all these. I mean, look at these levels. I mean, this one's 1100. This one's 1200. Another 1,000, 1,200, 1,200. And really, what you can see happening is something kind of like Luna, where people are like, "Yo, fuck, I'm losing money. I need to take the shit out. I need to take the shit out. I need to take the shit out." Or they're either gonna put more money in and allow it to go lower. So this is really cool. This is something new I see here on DeFi Llama. If you don't use DeFi Llama, it's pretty dope. Just on the main page, if you come here, you can kind of see all the total value locked inside of some of these coins. You can click Binance, Ethereum, Tron, Solana, Avalanche, Polygon, all these. But you can really see where all the values, all these liquidities locked. MakerDAO, Lido, Uniswap, Curve, Aave, Compound, all these projects, Sushi, Rocket Pool. Rocket Pool is going to be a big one. Rocket Pool and Optimism, I'm calling it. I think those two are going to be super, super popular here to come. But that's just my opinion. So that's kind of really what I'm seeing here in the market. I mean, really, I think we're going to see some move down. I think this big money wants to see some liquidations first. And what a lot of people don't understand, I used to trade Forex mostly. 2016 is when I got introduced to trading, and I traded Forex pretty much for a really long time, for about 5 years. 3 years ago, 2019 was when I was introduced to crypto. But a lot of times what happens is you see a smart money move. This right here is a perfect example, okay? So what happens in order for a bank to buy, they need to sell first. In order for a bank to sell, they need to buy first. And you're like, what are you talking about, bro? So, we see this move up, right? We see this move up, boom, we hit this high, right? Now, cool, people sell off, whatever, and we get those people rebuying in. The market's moving back up. Now, we get here and we have resistance. What a lot of people are thinking is, yo, I'm gonna sell here, I'm gonna sell here, I'm gonna sell here, I'm gonna sell here. What happens is somebody who manipulates the market. Now, this doesn't happen as much in crypto yet as it does in Forex, but what will happen is you'll see, people want to sell because you see the double top. That's what most people are taught. Everybody's taught the same stuff. You go to YouTube, double top. Everybody's seen it. My beginning years of Forex, I learned that was the wrong thing along the way. So you see people see this double top, right? You come up here, hit, sell. What does the bank do? Buy, liquidate all those sells, boom, sell it, ride it on the way down. Guess what? People are like, oh, fuck, let's buy it again. Price is low. Buy. Bank sells it. Boom. Guess what? They buy it again. And this happens all the time. And it happens, especially in the Forex market. You're probably going to see it a lot more in the crypto market. And that's why I think, we're going to see something like that. I think you're going to see some big money moves in the Bitcoin space. There's that Bitcoin whale that just got $3 billion of Bitcoin OTC over the counter, meaning they got it directly from the miner. So it's already in in the network. It's not like they bought it from the exchange. If they bought that from the exchange, it would affect price. Same thing if they sell to an exchange, it affects price. So imagine, BlackRock partners with Coinbase, and then 2 days later, some random wallet buys $3 billion of Bitcoin OTC. And then what happens is, this wallet that nobody knows it is, imagine if it's BlackRock and they dump it into Coinbase's hands, a company that they just partnered with, So a lot of like manipulation you can see potentially happening, like how it does in the Forex space. So just something to keep in mind, but we're probably going to wrap it up here. I got to hop on another call, so I appreciate you guys hopping on. Hopefully you got some value. If you did, drop a like, hit a comment, let us know what you want to see in the videos in the future, and I appreciate you guys.